A story that will always stick with me was the drone story. I have to say sorry, Mr. Dix, and sorry to the district if there's anybody who's watching that. I'll explain why. The drone story, to make it really simple and sum it up, we got a drone donated to the Shamrock News. And, you know, I've flown drones before, so I offered to Mr. Dix to help fly it to do our videos with it.
First, Evan is incredibly smart. He built his own 3D printer. When we were doing construction in the building last year, he was going around and talking to the electricians, and the electricians were telling Mr. Harris, like, hey, I'd hire this kid right now. He's that good at this stuff. So he's really, really smart. He's flown drones before. I was terrible at it because it was really high up in the air and it kind of scared me a little bit. So I let him do the flying. He also went home and assured me that he read up on the manual on all the different ways to use it, watched some YouTube videos because that's the way his brain works, and he also said he read up on some air traffic control laws, and he said we were good. And I was like, cool, let's get it.
And so, you know, I spent, you know, a week or two filming a whole bunch of stuff.
And so Evan is out in the field while gym class is going on, the day's winding down, and he's flying this drone, and he's got a crowd of kids around him. He's like the LeBron James of our school at the moment because everyone is just amazed that he's got this drone in his hands, and he's swooping down over people's heads. He's giving kids buzz cuts on their way out to the bus, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I bet you we get some cool footage out of it. And we do. The footage is beautiful.
Yeah, we ended up posting that.
I went home and emailed a lot of really important people in the district and was like, hey, we need to hire this kid to do our drone footage for our district. So the next morning,
let's just say we got about 6 emails or so from Mr. Harris and the different district officials saying, hey, you might want to get a license for that because there could be some problems.
Mr. Harris, I think, got most of the emails, like on some, what are you letting your people at your school do? I got some emails like, yo, you are not allowed to be doing this. And I was very much in some email threads that were like, what were you thinking? Like, you can't do this with school happening. You cannot do this with students on the grounds. So many things could have gone wrong. What if that thing falls out of the sky and like lands on somebody? If you want to fly a drone, you need to have a license. Do you have a license? No. You need to have a district approved flight plan. You potentially violated real laws in doing this. What were you thinking? And my legit response to their question, what were you thinking, was, well, the 13-year-old 8th grader in my Shamrock News class said that it would be okay. And it was probably the dumbest. I felt really dumb saying, as the 34-year-old educator with a master's degree, being like, well, the 13-year-old said it was okay, so I thought he was right. But that goes back to the fact that Evan is extremely smart and way smarter than me.
So, yeah, nothing ended up happening. We ended up not flying it anymore, but I will have to say it was a fun little talk with Mr. Dix, like, yeah, so we can't really do that anymore.
When I talked to the class about why we weren't going to be allowed to use the drone for a while, if ever again, I did tell Evan that he was going to go to jail because of the footage, so that was at least fun.
So it was just kind of a crazy little thing that happened, and that's definitely something I will remember, and I'm sure Mr. Dix will be telling that story for the next few years.
But yeah, Evan did not go to jail, and we are not going to be flying the drone for a while. That's the drone story.